Whoops, I forgot to click extra
Morning.
button. We're here.
Oh, and it's Monday. Oh, yes, it is. Cute. Your price tag is still on the bottom.
Yeah, I hand wash these just because.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with them. I got a new mug. Thank you, Brooke. Hello, everybody. We're late because I was running my mouth about the Comic-Con.
Yeah, there you go.
About time to get our Woo Woo Wednesday on. It sure is.
Yep.
All of our new friends join in while we flash our hellos. If you have questions about ghosts, earthbound spirits, negative energy, portals, anything of the like, go ahead and chat with us in the comments there. Marianne will answer, and depending on the question, I might answer. So Swifty loved the podcast. Amy says, how do y'all like the restaurant ghosts? I mean, I feel kind of bad for that poor manager.
Almost every restaurant has ghosts in it, though. It's just whether they come with the people that are eating there and leave, or they come with the wait staff, or they're just building ghosts. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sapphire said I listened to the podcast at 1 a.m. I had surgery on Sunday, so my hour awake are all over. Oh, well, I hope everything's going good. Everything went fine, and you're feeling good. Everybody's trying to guess where that restaurant is. Mum's the word.
You got that right. No.
We're here, Sandy. We're here. It's like, where's our ladies at? We're here.
We're here. Eventually, we get here.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I am making us late. Swifty says, thank you for calling my friend Lee. Last evening, it confirmed me that we successfully rid his house of the bully kid ghost that gave him and his wife real peace of mind.
That's great, Liz. The only thing is, like I told him, the kid never went into the light. He just left, the kid left the house. So he's got to watch his kids when they go outside. You don't know where that little kid is hanging out at. So that's the only thing I told him, to be aware of that. So
podcast was awesome. Hey, Nancy, and for our new friends on Twitch, there's a cute new little emote in there, a little ghosty witch that one of my colleagues, Nanette, designed for me. We're trying to get the emoji one. There's one where the little magic poof moves around with too many frames, so we have to play with that one.
Okay.
Brooke, do me a favor, like hit it, and we'll put it on the screen and see if Marianne likes it. It's adorable. I think it's adorable. Vicky says, love the podcast and watch them the next day. So I have 2 days of woo-woo. Hey, Chris. There it is. Whoops, it bumped. You see them?
Oh, those are cute. Yeah. Those are cute.
I'm like, I need new emotes. I'm like, I got to find somebody who do the artwork, blah, blah, blah. And then that's like, well, what size? And the next thing I know, 10 minutes later, she's like, how about this? I'm like, those are adorable. How'd you do that? And, she's like, I just play around with art. And I'm like, you are my new favorite person.
Yeah, right.
now. Let's see. Said, I finally had the surgery on Sunday night, but I suffered for half a year. They ran tests last year and everything was negative. But EBG interfere with an earthbound ghost interfere with the results.
Yeah, especially, I'm telling you, hospitals are full. If you have any kind of CT scans or chest x-ray, blood drawn, and there's an earthbound spirit around you, that test is not going to be accurate. And that's why when you go to have these tests done, you should have a seat on you, so that at least, it's dangerous if they can't find what's wrong with you and there's something wrong with you. That could be dangerous. So
Sweeney's like, how cute are those ghost emojis? Yes, the mug.
I have one, only one, but that was it. Now, this one obviously it must be broken because this is not supposed to show until it's hot. But there it is, and here's a creepy. This guy that made these for me had a weird sense of humor. You probably can't tell, but there's like a creepy thing talking in my ear.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can move it this way. Yeah. So here, yeah, here it really existed. So
Yay, Ted dug one out of the the storage chambers.
I have no idea where he found that. I have no. I like I says, I was sure we didn't have any of them at all, and we never made that many of them because they were quite expensive to make, and I hate to have to sell things so expensive, and
Right.
I just felt bad, so we never made any more.
You're right, Tina. And why didn't I think of this before? She's like, have your friend make an emoji with the rolling eyes."
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
There you go.
I agree. I wonder if Nanette's listening. She might be.
Yeah,
She
but
might
but it would look like the emoji's having the seizure or something.
Well, we won't roll them that hard. I mean, we don't need them to go off the screen. Just um everybody agrees, like, haha. Jules is like, I see you adjusting to the east side, going to illuminate a record. They're all lovely there. In concert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing some kind of program there on May 6th. We'll see.
So if anybody has any questions, our newbies and our new friends on Instagram, I can't quite put your question up on the screen because you're on a separate camera, but we will read it off and get you some answers. Um, and let's see. In the meantime, Marianne, you'll be in the store in person April 15th.
Correct.
So if you have, pictures or videos on your phone,
Bring
Marianne,
'em.
you can look at those. Just don't let her touch your phone, but you'll have your gloves.
I will have my wonderful latex gloves with me. You betcha.
I always think of Dexter's Laboratory, his mom, that she even slept in her gloves, like her.
Right.
That's right, Sandy. We're gonna get just the perfect amount of eye roll on this emoji. We'll have to figure this out. Um, so the fun thing, our friends on Twitch, if you comment and chat with other people on other channels and you follow us, you can use those emojis in other people's chats. So it's fun. It's cute. You can spread the cuteness.
Okay.
Um, have you ever had to deal with a ghost in a toy store?
Oh yeah. You remember oh God, what was that toy store called? Was it Toys R Us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Kids Are Us?
Yeah, there was one store that it was terrible. I mean, they would come in the morning, shelves would be cleared, boxes would be torn over. Yeah, it was, and there were just so many openings in that place. And that's when I really first realized that a lot of buildings that are used for workplaces have doors on the ceiling for repairman to get to the roofs. And when you're walking around something with 50-foot high ceilings, you really don't see a door up there. And I couldn't remember how in the world, how was stuff getting in after we put all the seeds up? And that's when I realized that those are all those doors up there. Some buildings have ladders on the outside of the buildings, and I could spot those if I was going in. But the ones that these people have to use those really tall ladders to get to, I had a hard time finding those. But yeah, oh yeah, Toys R Us was one of them. Absolutely.
Now, was it a kid ghost that was knocking every? You would think that they would
It
just
was a teenage one. There was a couple teenagers and a couple women that weren't that old. The one said that this door definitely destroyed her child. Her 14-year-old child was just a mess after going to the store all the time. I'm thinking, wow, that's a mother with a lot of control. So it was like, wow.
What, did they become obsessed with Legos and then end up years down the line becoming an engineer? Like,
Yeah, right. No, and she had she had gotten killed. I don't remember. She got killed in a car. No, she was in the drowned, I think. I don't know, but she decided that store had to go to protect her son because his father was just going to let him go there whenever he wanted. It's like, oh my God. So it's
there are worse things your 14-year-old could be doing.
that's right. A whole
Just
lot than hanging
just
out in
saying.
Toys R Us. Right. Exactly.
I mean, the worst that could happen is he works retail later
Right.
and
Right.
works for a company that ended up going under.
Or
But
he'll work for Disney or something. Make toys,
right,
Mattel. Who knows? Go find a job.
right, right. Um, how funny. Now I feel bad for that kid, and I kind of wonder, like, what became of that 14-year-old? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I just talked to somebody last night on the phone that I get all the information, made the appointment, when I'm going to go out and everything, and blah, 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 blah. And then he tells me right before we hang up, he said, I met you when I was like 8 years old and I'm 33 now. I went, okay.
feeling a little old after that one.
Yeah, just a little. And I said, how, where? And he said, oh, in Medina. He says, that's where no, Olmsted Falls. That's where I used to live. And I said, and I did your mom and dad's house? He said, yep. And he says, and it was terrible in that house. All of us kids were scared to death. He says, and we never had a problem after you came. I says, well, good. I'm glad to hear it. And I said, what's your last name? Because I don't really, who cares what somebody's last name is? I just need an address. And he told me, I went, oh my gosh. I says, didn't your mom know? And I said, somebody else. He says, how did you remember that? So yeah, sometimes even stuff from way back when I can remember.
Right. Hey Brooke, do me a favor, hon. Can you put the address up there and I'll put it. There was a question about whether or not are you going to go right into the light? Um,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is
I don't even care what anybody has to say at my funeral. Nope. No, I'm so
you're
out
so
of here. Yeah,
hard.
so out of here. Right. No, 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 no. There's a lot
See,
of people I want to see. I was thinking
mhm,
about it the other day. I'm getting to that point in my life where I'm starting to know more people that have died than are alive. And it's scary. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to see a lot of people.
I mean, when you and I talked afterwards last time and you told me who you and I'm like, I would like to see her. She was so sassy. Um, we do not have any outings planned other than on the 15th, Marianne being at Goddess Elite, but that's not really ghost hunting because there's nothing in the store.
You need to find out about your old house. Now that the weather's starting to break, we can do an outdoor thing.
Yeah, well, and I need to touch base with Lachelle too about that other question.
That's the other one too. So we've got two that maybe we can be doing. The one will be iffy because it'll have to be outside, but the other one will be inside. So,
Yeah.
but see, I'm talking about one that people can come, which would
Oh,
be the
the
one
house.
outside.
Okay,
They're
on that
not going to be
spot.
able to come to the other one. That's one that
Right.
we'll just do and show. So I think she's talking about where are we going to be at, where they
That
can
can
come
join
with
us.
us. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and there was another suggestion put in that's kind of near you that now that the Comic-Con is over that I need
Okay.
to look into. Um,
And did you look about that tunnel?
no,
I
that
don't know
Comic-Con,
about that either. I haven't. Somebody else just told me about that. I'd never heard of it. Did anybody ever hear of the haunted tunnel in I forgot where?
I don't even have my notes near me right.
Irontown, Ohio. Wherever that is. I don't even know where that's at. But
Right. Um, and I'm gonna make a new note. Um, because this is my off day, but I'll be doing a lot of work today
yeah,
sitting
well,
here. Such is the life of self-employment.
yeah, everybody thinks it's such a piece of cake.
No.
Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You're never not working.
Um, Aw, thank you. Thank you, thank you. You guys can play with those emotes. There'll be more coming. We just have to play with them. And depending on how many of us we have on Twitch, I found a new friend that some of you may enjoy, and we'll kind of raid over to them. Any live events for Zoom? I mean, other than the twice a month like personal thing, not really. Though when we have like maybe the one that I need to touch base with my friend Lachelle about, like that one will probably air to where you guys can watch us because we won't be able to have a bunch of people with us. It's going to be one of those like we have to get special permission to be in the building after hours and stuff. So
Yeah, there would be nobody there except the person that's letting us in and you and me and, the camera. So, yeah, that would be it for that one.
and maybe a security
Just
guard.
because it's a very, very public place and we'll get in trouble for sure.
Yeah.
But no, we really don't have anything planned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the weather and
Let's be
everything.
honest. I've been trying. Since we moved out here where we're at now, Ted has called within a 20-mile radius. And you're talking Cuyahoga, Lake, Geauga counties. He has called every hotel, motel that has any kind of a banquet room where we could hold something. Nobody has got anything available because they don't have any wait staff. Now, here's the interesting thing. All I need is chairs. I don't even need water. There's no food involved, no nothing. You got to find somebody to set up the chairs and take them down. They're not doing it. I don't understand why. I just don't understand why nobody's doing anything or having any kind of why. I mean, everybody's working again, and actually, more people see. I just heard on the news more people are actually going back to work to a building than staying at home. So I don't know.
Yeah. I was reading somewhere that there's a big shift ever since COVID where people are leaving like where the professions they always were and just like going to new places, and that's leaving deficits in some of the employment. Um yeah, if we were closer, I'd set the well, part of me, and I'm like, I can bring a couple minions, and I'm like, show me where your chairs are stored. I
Well,
will set
that's
up
it. Ted
myself.
even said that to the one person. He says, "Well, we can come in an hour early." He says, "And with the people I have helping me," he says, "we can set the chairs up and we can stay, 20 minutes after and load them back up." No, union and reps and blah 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 blah. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I don't I don't understand. It's a loss to me. I don't understand how the world works anymore.
So we're trying, and part of me, I've been waiting for some weather, and Marianne, you just had the move and everything else. I'm like, I'm not even going to try right now. So we're kind of getting into the weather time period where I'll start kind of looking and running some ideas past Marianne. So
Well, it's like this thing that I'll be doing in Concord in May. The room only holds 30 people. That's not, I can find places like that, but you haul all that stuff around for 30 people.
yeah,
It just seems like it's a lot of work for not a lot of, feedback. So I don't know.
we already have another volunteer that'll help with some pairs.
Well, you're okay, Jackie, because you basically set this one up. So you go help her set up her chairs. Good idea. So
Right. So we'll show Gammy's question, and there was another longer one that I have to scroll up and find. So while you answer that one, I'll find the other one. Gammy says, I have been catching orbs of all sizes and colors flying in all different directions and speeds in my house and my security cameras. What do you make of all of that?
okay, anybody that gets orbs is a good thing. Orbs are definitely perfectly round circles. They can be any color, they can be sparkly. The important thing is if there's a design in the middle of the orb, that means it is somebody from the light that is visiting. You want them to visit, they do no harm. Um, if you took that picture on a digital camera or phone, If you enlarge it, sometimes you can see a side profile or a face of who it is. If the orbs are blank in the middle, they're nothing but a dust particle. So don't ever worry about orbs. Orbs are fine, not a problem.
And so we have a slightly longer question because I've always been into the paranormal. I am too scared to do anything other than watch shows and do old house tours. I've never directly reached out to or speak to spirits because I'm afraid of attachment. I have a friend who wants me to join their paranormal group. I'm curious, but I'm also afraid of something following me home and causing havoc in my life. I mean, that's living people too. Is this common or am I just overthinking? I'm trying to gauge whether I should pursue my interest or not even attempt.
Okay, here's my advice, my opinion on this. If you're joining a paranormal group that has somebody in the group that can see the ghosts, talk to the ghosts, create the white light, let the ghosts go, and then protect the property so this never happens again. You bet you join them. But you better wear a quince seat on you so that you don't bring anything home with you. Because there's absolutely no reason why you're out doing your ghost busting that it's a place where there's a ghost and the ghost looks at you and goes, "Oh, yeah, I really like the way you look. I'm coming home with you." And
Mhm.
who's going to tell them they can't?
All right.
Nobody. So just think about it. You want to join a group? You do. I mean, you're an adult, do what you want. But for protection, you should really have a Quincy charm on you so nothing follows you.
Um, you said Papa Squat. She's like, Papa Squat, only problem is getting back up.
Yeah, right.
Sandy's like, what about BFW halls? That,
Actually, somebody just suggested that yesterday, and Ted has not looked into that. So he is going to look into that in the next week or so. I
and
don't know where any are out in this area. Like I'm looking around like they're next door. But uh, I know where there are some on the other side of town. So, but I'm sure they're out here too. I just haven't seen any yet.
you know what? And AMVETS might be another good one too. My parents are actually members of a couple different ones in like Elyria and Lorraine. And some of them aren't that bad to rent, honestly, now that I think about it.
We
Um,
belong to the one in Parma, and which of course we could because Ted is a vet, but and we it was very close to where we used to live. And oh my God, they had the best dinners there once a week that were so cheap. And I mean, we would go and bring home stuff and have enough for 2 meals after. But, and they had a great hall there. But the trouble is, it was all steps to get in. It was not friendly for anybody with a handicap. And I don't know how many of these places are like that. So they would have to be checked out. The one that we checked out in another part of Parma wanted to know what the subject matter was, and they said absolutely not.
oh, the one in Elyria that I've used before. They only really carry about, do you plan on damaging the property? And you're like, nope. And they're like, sign here. Uh,
Right,
and
right.
you would get half of your rental back if you put the chairs away yourself and swap the floor.
Yeah,
So, um,
yeah. So maybe we'll look into that. I know some of them have I've been to quite a few of them in the fall when they have those in the spring when they have those craft shows. Those are
mhm.
usually set up in there, and some of them seem like they would be big enough. So, yeah, we'll have to check that out because obviously hotels and motels aren't working.
And the American Legions too. That's
Right.
another one. There was a really cool one in Elyria that Punk Rock Flea Market used, and it actually had like a ballroom upstairs. And I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get Marianne out here.
Wow.
So I'm gonna make another note of that one.
Well, I got called within 2 weeks from two different, I don't know what they're called. They're the Masons. Masonic temples? Is that
But
what those are?
yeah,
Okay.
Well, I know the
Yeah,
guys, and
their
one
own
of
shares, good idea.
I
But
need to touch base with that.
they did that at the bookstore at Permatown before they closed it. The once a month meeting we had there, they didn't have enough chairs. People would bring their own chairs in to sit down.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. But and the one Mason group said, oh yeah, 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 come, come, come. And the other one said, oh no, no, no. So every unit is different.
Yeah. Have we thought about doing events outdoor? We have. And
Here's the problem. A lot of the parks, the metro parks have pavilions. So if it rains, at least you've got that. But the other problem is this with the metro park system, it can't be confined just to, say, our group. Anybody that's in the park is allowed to come.
mhm.
And there's the problem. I am not going to do a talk with a bunch of 5, 6, and 7-year-olds and talking about ghosts because some mother's going to come up and pop me over that one, and I don't blame her. So,
City says you've mentioned before that earthbounds can be in churches too. Have you ever seen Satan or an evil entity in a church?
which podcast is it, Melissa?
How far back was that?
Pretty, not that far. Listen to the one podcast. You have it in full color.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called The Devil or something. I mean, you'll know which one it is. I don't know what the titles of these are. I have no idea.
The one in the house, but that was a house. That wasn't a
Yeah,
church.
right.
That was fall time. Um,
We need to have a list of what our titles are. Oh, I
on
can see your
Instagram.
brain going on that one. Will she shut her mouth?
Well, Instagram gets to look at my screen. As I am scrolling back, we're back on page 3 now in history. Da, 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 da. We're on page 4 of history. Come on.
I just don't remember.
Demon in the House on August 3rd.
There you go. Look at that one and you'll get your story about a demon, that's for sure.
Let's see. Melanie says, can we send pictures for you to look at? If you email them to, hold please, here, we can put them up on a Wednesday. If you're local, you can bring them into Marianne and let her look at them.
Yeah, bring them in on the 15th over at the Goddess Elite. I'll look at them. Absolutely.
Let's see how to get that seed. Thank you so much. That was my question. I will get that seed. So yeah, get a seed on you. And you won't really have to worry about much. And then the question, what about church fellowship halls? And I think that might be kind of the same thing, depending on who's running that church and whether or not they're into this.
And the podcast that we are doing today after this is over is about a church and a portal. So you're getting your answer. I don't know when you're going to play it, but we're going to do it today.
So if you're on Twitch, hang out or keep an eye. I'll have to end this and then restart for the podcast, and you guys get to hear all of the side conversations and the goofing off that always gets edited out later. Let's see. Melanie says, I smelled cigarette smoke last week, strong in my upstairs bedroom. No one was smoking. It woke me, went downstairs. There was no scent there. Any chance it could be my late dad? He was a huge smoker.
Yes, it could. And that's like me when I smell pipe tobacco. I know my father's visiting because I cannot see ones that have crossed over. So that could be your dad. Now, pay attention. When you smell this, was it the anniversary of his death, his birthday, your birthday, some event that happened that he would have been visiting you on that particular day? You can usually put the two together. So
let's see. Oh, somebody mentioned that there's a hall because I moved. Welcome back, Brooke. She's like, my internet had a fainting spell.
Oh, geez.
Um, Divine suggestion is like, what about a larger library?
Libraries are very, 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 very tight on who they have talked. I've talked at libraries, and the problem with libraries is also is that those doors close at 9 o'clock, and the cops show up a quarter to nine
Mm.
to usher everybody out because they
Preach.
have to set the alarms. So libraries are a little not the best place to do talks.
Now I'm waiting for Divine to be like, come to DC in my library.
Yeah, right.
It's all of that for you. Jackie says the American Legion post in Wycliffe has like up to 100-person hall.
Oh, good to know. And that's close. Okay. See, this places he'll have to check out. I've never had to look at, well, we've never had a problem before finding a hotel. So well, you learn this is change. So you have to go with it and figure it out how we're going to do it.
Oh, good choice. Karen's like the Columbia Ballroom. And now I'm wondering if that's the one that's kind of near the store because there's like a.
No, it's right on. I used to go to that when I was in high school. Oh my God, if my mother knew. Uh, But yeah, no, that is still there, and that place is absolutely haunted. No doubt about it. I know the person that owned it at one point, and that place is definitely haunted. But I don't even know if they use that anymore for anything. It's still up, and it's out in Lorraine. Um, if Ted was right there, he would know what street it's on. I don't remember, but
To make a note of that because I was thinking there's that dance place like right on the other side of the light of the store and they actually still hold like ballroom dancing and stuff and so I'm like wondering.
the Goddess Elite.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
So if you head west and go through that light, it's like maybe the third building on the left. Funny enough, what was it, a year or two ago, they were getting a delivery and the delivery truck backed into the utility pole and it flickered and shorted like the electric down the line and it knocked our electric down and fried a whole bunch of balances to where you just smelled burning and me going, oh, no. And the reasoning was like we use so much electric it burned and I'm like Dollar General, the next plaza that's closer to where this pole was, uses way more than I do, so does Advanced Auto, so does, I'm like, why did we take such a hard hit? Like what was done in this rebuild that might be questionable?
Yeah.
But so I know they're still using that ballroom dancing area.
Well, it's something to look into. We checked, somebody else had said that, and I get the two confused between Panini's and Panera. I forget, I get the two confused. But apparently one of them has some kind of a banquet room and uh, and mugs. And she called, and so Ted called them, and it was one out here, and he had to talk to a very specific person in 3 days. So he called back in 3 days, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, well the patio's open now, so we don't use that room, so we won't be doing anything in that room maybe until the weather gets bad." I guess they can only do one or the other. I don't know. I don't understand.
Like,
Either you work or you don't. I don't
you want
understand.
rental money or not?
That's
Like,
right. I don't understand.
uh, Herbs and Subs, like I have an in with one of the West Park area Cleveland Masonic temples, so we might have to
Oh, well,
track that down too.
yeah, yeah. Anything on that area, let Melissa know. Seriously,
And put up those
this
buffalo
area,
chickens.
we can look. Secret room. Yeah. I asked a ghost at the one Masonic that I did because they have a very special handshake.
Oh,
And I asked if they would show me that, and he said, "Well, if there was another ghost standing here, I'd do it for you, but no, I can't tell you." I said, "Oh, okay. Oh, when am I coming back?" Yeah, I'll let you know about that.
Divine says, also check with the state and local park and planning. There may be historical buildings or community centers available.
Well, we did that one. Remember that historical society way out someplace? It was way out. The meal was in a barn. Do you remember that? Then the museum. It was the museum that we had to walk across the parking lot.
How many years ago was that?
I don't know, and it was in some faraway county, so I don't even know where that
We were
was.
much younger then.
Yeah, this job
Vaguely
teaches you
remember.
a lot. Yeah, right.
And now I try to list mine and your events of like Borders or Goddess Elite time, like which
Right.
time, like that one's on the fence. I don't remember. Maybe the beginning of Goddess Elite. I think maybe.
I don't remember.
That's been a minute.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I just some of the newer places that we've done, somehow Ted and I are like on the side or up closer to where you're speaking, so we can't misbehave like we normally would. Because usually we always joke that we're going to play poker and do some bets in the back of the room while you're doing work. And that was one of the few times before being up front that he and I were sitting in the back and goofing off.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. And I don't know how there was a meal there. I remember there was a huge meal. It was well, we should check again because I've done a couple events on the good time too.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be fun. And that ship has got its own little you would say their own little group of people that work on the ship that nobody can see. They're there. So
Right. Let's see. Oh, and Herb stuff. She's like, she's got the creepy pictures of the worthy masters and all of that fun stuff. So, I might have to get in touch with her and be like, okay, how do we reserve time and space in that hall?
yeah, see if they like the subject matter or not.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, everybody's loving that little ghost.
Yeah, it's so cute.
So when we can get the emoji to work, that little like poof of smoke that's above the hand, it will move.
Okay.
But we have to get the frame rate down. Um, let's see. Cassandra says, I would like to learn how to clear houses. How do you get started? I am a Reiki master.
I don't know what to tell you. I first of all, I don't know. uh, I don't know which group of Reiki people are putting that out there that if you know Reiki, you can clear a house. I'm sorry, but I disagree with that 200%. That is not true. So just because you do Reiki doesn't mean you clear houses. My question is, can you see a ghost? Can you talk to a ghost? If you can do that, then maybe you could clear a house. But if you can't do that, I don't think there's a school for it. I don't know.
Because you are a Reiki master, and so for
No,
you
no. Ted and I are only second degree. No,
second.
no, we are not Reiki masters.
Okay, I thought you were a master's.
No, 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 no. No.
Mhm.
And we are of, well, I'm not even going to go in there because that's like a big people peeing on one another, deciding which is the best one. Let it go.
Yeah,
Just let it go. I'm not even going to go there.
body over.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't take we did not take the Reiki class that you can go on a Friday and be a master on Sunday. That's not the one we took. Okay. So the one we took was 2 years long. So no, no, it's
Right.
whatever.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was part of, we went a little off topic on the Box Wine and Witchcraft podcast that, we did at the Comic-Con. It was like beginning witchcraft. And I kind of went on like a little TED talk. And I'm like, if you've got teachers that say they can certify you and make you a master in a weekend or a week in anything, run away.
Fast, really fast.
Especially if they want you to pay up front.
especially that.
and they're in another city or another state,
Right.
and
And I
I'm like,
have to admit, the weekend people are way cheaper than the other ones.
well, of course they are.
I mean, you have no idea how much
Because
between 5 and 10 and $25,000. It's really expensive. So,
yeah,
so no, no. And just because it costs a lot doesn't mean they're better. I'm not saying that.
no.
I no, I no.
For instance, like I just put up last night, Brooke, um, the next round of the shaman apprenticeship, that I do. And my teacher, starts in July. It's like $4,200. It is 6 to 9 months of both online and in person. And that cost includes like the coming together in person and the supplies. But it's a minimum to 6 to 9 months. And that depends on the students and how long this has to keep going. It's not a weekend. It's
That's
not
right.
a week. Um, it's
somebody just can't snap their fingers and say, "Gee, I'm going to do that tomorrow." It just doesn't work that way. It
Mhm.
you just and this has become such a fascinating subject for everybody anymore. Woo woo, everybody's into it with the TV and I mean, movies, everything. But getting something fast doesn't mean it's right or it's good.
Right. Bridget says, my daughter was murdered by her boyfriend 6 months ago. I am so sorry. She did typewriter poetry. Last week, I heard a typewriter 2 days in a row. Could that maybe have been her daughter coming in to say hello?
It could have been, and you're talking typewriter. I mean, like an old fashioned typewriter. If that is truly a typewriter, I would keep a piece of paper in it so that if she does come through and wants to leave a message for you, at least there's paper in there. What are you going to do? You take out the tape and read the tape and see if she wrote anything? You can't do that. And I'll tell you who used to get information like that was Ruth Montgomery. She's long dead, and she would get information from earthbound spirits and aliens on her typewriter. And she had maybe 5 or 6 books out that she wrote that explained all of this. She used like automatic writing. She used to call it automatic typewriting.
That's cute.
Yeah, well, it worked. And how would you describe something like that 50 years ago? Actually, yeah, about 50 years ago. So
Well, that was the technology of the time.
that's right. So if your daughter actually used a real typewriter, I would keep paper in it and see who's leaving a message.
Poodle Pans wants to know if fairies hibernate.
I think maybe some of them do. The ones that look more like a bug than look like a little person, I think they probably do, but I don't know for sure. I don't believe they migrate, so it's either one or the. Now there are ones that are fine outside, like birds. They can, no matter how cold it is, they're fine. So they must be cold-blooded, or doesn't make any difference. But I would think the ones that look more like little bugs, I bet they do.
Everybody is like Route 82, Columbia Station, Columbia Ballroom. So I'm making
What
notes.
is it? 82?
Route 82.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that is in Lorraine, and that's yeah. I know exactly where. Well, I know exactly where that is.
Thank you, Brooke. She's telling everybody on Twitch about the subscription. The subscription will turn off the ads, so you don't have to listen to ads. It's like $5. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can use your Prime for your subscription. But anything made that way, like that's what helps when we do these in-person events. We have to pay up front for rental of things. And then that ticket taking online, like there is credit card processing fees and all sorts of stuff. So um, these little things help us be able to do the in-person events. And as much as we like doing them and you guys ask, we need you to show up. So if we plan something and you're local and you're able to come, please do. There's been a few times where we've done events and then people are like, oh, well, this came up. So when's the next time you're going to do it? And I'm like,
No, if we don't get a good response, and I can think of 2 places in Lorraine County actually that we went to that had terrible, terrible. I mean, it rained and rained, and then we ended up with a really nice weekend, and everybody decided that they were going to do something outside instead of sit and listen to, or and this was a building they could go through and find ghosts on their own, and we still didn't get the turnout. So I won't even go back to that place a second time. It's not worth it. When you do all the advertising and the promotion, and like you say, you don't even get enough to get your money back for paying for the rental fee. We can't do that.
mhm.
This is what we do for a living. We can't do that. So
Because if you'd rather go do something else than come there, then why would we do it again?
that's right. We're not going to do it. No. Mm-mm.
So, not to sound mean, but that's kind of like business wise, that's what we have to look at it. So
Right.
if you ask us to come, we need you to join us there. Um,
When I was still doing curse workshops, there were
Really?
neighboring states that wanted me to do a workshop in that area. And the idea of traveling miles, hundreds of miles, to go to one of these buildings with the truck full of cursed items and workbooks and everything I would need. They're the ones that had to find the hall. They're the ones that had to pay the money for the hall. They're the ones that had to set everything up because that's not my area. So, and then they got the money back with the fees, which is fine. But they did the work, and that's why I went to their states to do this.
Mhm,
So, I can't look how hard it is for Melissa or Ted to find someplace now local. It's even harder trying to do that someplace out of state.
mhm. And I mean, and that's the thing. Like Marianne, you do the work in person, the presenting and the talking. I'm the one usually finding the place, booking the place, advertising the place, setting up the events, doing all of that stuff in the background.
That's
When
right.
when you're canceling, when you're signing up, that's all me. I'm taking care of all of that in the background. And when we do have an in-person event, I then also have to have in coverage not only at that place, but my people back at the store. So I
Right.
coordinate all of that
Right.
when we do these events. So it's
Right. It's not like we just load up the van and take off. It's a whole lot more than just that.
I
I mean,
mean, I
I
think
I
a
can
lot of
stand and talk for 5 hours straight. I talk. Everybody knows I talk. But I wouldn't even have a clue how to do the background stuff. I
Bradley's on
Yeah,
Instagram. She's like, "Nothing is for free. It costs money for you guys to do it, so it's only right to pay." So,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we love seeing you guys. We love interacting. It's fun. We just need you to show up. So when you ask for events and you are local, please show up.
yeah.
Um, that's just
And
what it
then
is.
there's some, let's be honest, there's some that the program starts at 7 and they're there at 5:30 waiting at the door to open so they can have the front row seat.
That's
So, it goes from one extreme to the other.
yeah.
So,
Well, dude, like how it was a while ago. You were in the store. You weren't set to be there till like 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I generally get there at like 10:30, 11 because I've got store stuff in the background to do. And I normally keep the lights off and I might just turn on like the jewelry lights because it gives off enough light to see what I'm doing there. And like this woman was yanking on the doors because she could see me. And I'm like, are you in trouble or do you need help? And she's like, well, I'm here for Marianne. And I'm like, okay, well, Marianne won't be here till 1. She's like, well, I want to come and wait. And I'm like, the store's not even open yet. Like, we don't open till noon.
yeah,
She's
right.
not here. And she was so mad that I wouldn't let her in like an hour and a half before opening. And I think she complained to you about how mean I was.
Yeah, you're a very mean person. You wouldn't let her in. Yeah, yeah. Shame on you, Melissa. What's
I
wrong with you?
know.
You know,
I do need to sit
you,
up.
you know, you must have brushed your teeth with gunpowder that morning that you
Right.
just blew up at her. Right.
Right. I had Dirty Whitey Cheerios is what I
That's right. There you went. Oh, man. People
Jean
get so focused. They get, they just want to, they just think that way and that's it. She thinks she's going to sound crazy.
right. So Jean says, but when somebody passes away, can a soul try to jump into another body if its present soul chooses not to return, like in an accident?
That is how some walk ins happen. And for those of you that watch Ghost Whisper, that is how Jim, her first husband, died in a car accident. And then his spirit jumped into, or he died and he jumped into another spirit, or his body jumped, Marianne, his spirit jumped into another accident victim. So he was still Jim, but in a different body. But yeah, that can absolutely happen. That's called a walk-in. So
Brett Face says, Melissa, mean question mark must have been a Mercury retrograde.
oh God, don't tell her that. She will get mean.
I mean, I will admit, I do have resting bitch face, especially when I'm really concentrating on things because I'm usually thinking three different things and how to, and I'm sitting there really concentrating. But they're like, you look mad. And I'm like, no,
No,
no.
just thinking. Thinking.
Italian Nan says you would have a field day at my job. I work at Duke University Hospital and it's from like 1838. Sometimes the call bells go off in the room when no one's there.
Oh, hospitals are full, absolutely full. There's just some places that you are always going to have ghosts in hospitals, nursing homes, antique stores, stadiums, malls, restaurants. Dentist offices are one of the worst places. Um, men's clubs. It's an interesting. Just think wherever there's a lot of people, but hospitals for sure are one of the and and I don't know what it is and how it works like that, but especially if you're married and you are a nurse and your spouse is a fireman or an EMT, there are so many of those people that are married to one another and they both work in a job that could easily bring something home with them. I think it's interesting how people find one another like that.
So Brooke is like, do we need a secret handshake? Because the Masons do have one.
Yeah, they do.
And everybody on Twitch is like, we need a secret. We're gonna have to come up with a Marianne Ghost handshake, so everybody can
Oh my God. I'll work on that.
and fist bumps and high fives.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll think about that.
Witchy Woman says Stan Hewlett Hall has a couple community rooms and probably spectacular earthbounds to go with it.
Well, I've been there for their Christmas stuff, and what they do at Christmas is beautiful there. But I've been through there, and again, because I'm not working, I really don't know if the ghosts that I see there are Stan Hewitt ghosts or if they are there with somebody that is visiting Stan Hewitt. It's really hard to tell because just because you come and you bring a ghost with you, you're looking in one room. Maybe your ghost is off snooping around looking in another room. They don't have to stay with you. They just have to, and they don't even have to go back home with you. They know where you live. So I never know. And I've never been called to that place for a clearing, and I'm sure they don't want to. But I'm wondering if they're not a lot like the prison. The prison is only active to the outside so many times a year. And I wonder if Stan Hewitt Hall is open all the time or are they only open for occasions?
I'm just trying to catch up with some of the comments.
Yeah.
So people are like, what kind of fairy is Tinkerbell?
Disney or whoever did Peter
Right.
Pan. Yeah, that's fairy for that studio.
So we already have one person who will show up to all of our North Carolina events.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's funny because I do have my friend Josh, he and his husband live out there, so in the Carolina area, and he's like, come stay for free. So I'm like, well, I might get us free lodging.
Yeah.
Finding a place. Um, oh, we're almost at, oh, it's like 10:59. Um, let's see. So, uh, catching up. If you think you might have ghosts in your house and you want to get that confirmed, this is how you can find out. This is a limited attendance event on Zoom. You must be in the building your question is about. Please don't be at work on your lunch break when you want to know about your house. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love friends from all over the world, but please adjust accordingly for a time change. No one under 18. What was it, the last one or the one before where we had to be
Both
like,
of them.
go?
The last one and the one before. And the last one, the one left, but I don't know why the other one didn't think she had to go. And it's like,
Right. She was just still sitting there like front and
like,
center of the camera. And we're
no,
like,
please,
you right there.
out, right, move, out, out, out.
What else is there? It is the limited attendance, and so other people are there. They paid their money to be there with you. So please be mindful of the time. Like, be respectful. This isn't like dump your whole life story out. Um, Especially when it's the Monday night, right? People got to work the next day
That's
and
right.
get up for school. We don't want to go till 11 o'clock at night. Um, what else is there for that? Please make sure you type your email in correctly. Double check it before you hit submit. As soon as you hit submit, the system is going to say, here's your receipt and your Zoom link in that receipt. If you mistype your email, I'm going to get a bounce back. I don't know what your email is supposed to be. I can't fix it for you. Don't delete that confirmation email because that is your Zoom link. Marianne, you will be in the store April 15th.
1 to 4.
Come get your seeds, bring your pictures or videos for Marianne to look at. Get your book signed. You do not have to buy a book that day. If you've got one that you have had for you, bring it with you. We're not, uppity about that. But I did order, I've got 2 cases of When Go Speak sitting there waiting for you to come in. What else? We will be, give us about, 15 minutes or so, and we'll be live again on Twitch
Right.
recording the next podcast. So if you would like to listen and comment and see what shenanigans we do that normally you guys don't get to see, head on over to Twitch. We got it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, Marian. Usually I'm okay if I feel like I'm forgetting something. It's when I'm like, I'm good. It's like
Yeah.
3 things
No,
that
I think you got it covered. I think you're good.
I-
Do we still have room? We need the 2 dates for April.
Again,
They're what, the 14th
yeah.
and the 24th?
Yes. So the 14th is full. The 24th is full.
Are you kidding?
I am not. May, there is room on May 12th. There are 18 slots available for May as we speak right now.
So April's taken care
That's
of.
very brief. She's like, be on time. We need a carpool to events. Not late for Zoom. Right. Yeah, sometimes people will send an email like, hey, I'm running late for work and I keep an eye, I'll bring you back in, or bring you in if like you're not getting there till like 9, you just might be one of the later ones. But if you don't show, or not 9, 8, but if you're not coming in till like 9, 9:30 and we're done, we're done.
We're done. Yeah, when we're done, we're done.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's one right after another. So, and I think even some of the people that stay on to hear everything else, I think they get, it's like, I'm done. I'm done for the night. I can't listen anymore. So, yeah. And that's a good amount because we're not like you say, Melissa, we're not going to bed at midnight because we have to do Zoom. So this is good. I think we've got it down pat for how many we need a week, each time. So I think that's good.
Yeah, because in the beginning we were doing 25 and we cut it back to 20.
No, we started with 30.
Oh, that's I forgot way back. Yeah, it was 30.
It was like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't want to do these forever.
Yeah. Yeah. We cut back the attendance and
Yeah, we had to go back to where that was a doable amount of people.
mhm. So, oh, real quick, Rebecca says, I drove a neighbor for eye surgery. We're in the waiting room. I sat down and suddenly my coffee cup was slapped from the bottom, covering my face with coffee. She forgot.
Oh, Rebecca, you know better than that. Oh my God, especially in a hospital.
Mhm.
That's what happens.
So, well, thank you for joining everybody. Again, if you're on Twitch, join us over there and you'll get to listen, see, and comment on the podcast. We are getting ready to record. So give us about 15 minutes to make the next cup of coffee and reset the live stream.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you
See
for
you next
joining.
week.
That's right.
Bye-bye.